ordered what?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Dean Callan Show. It is Friday afternoon. And as some of you may know, this is the final Friday afternoon live show. We're going to be going from now on to a Wednesday and only doing a live show on a Wednesday, unless there's some sort of special event where it makes sense to do the show on, say, a Thursday. If there's a trade show that I get to be invited to go and hang out at, set up a little mini studio and rock it out from there. Live shows could be at different times, but they should be announced more than, say, 15 minutes before the show. As for the regular Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, by just cutting it back to one day, we can focus on the content, right? And then I can put some other stuff out during the week. Anyway, without any further ado, today is episode 4. Now, I put episode 4 in the title, but actually, I'm not sure if it's the 4th time or the 3rd time that we're doing this. I'll have to ask Danny, because Danny might know. Waiting in the wings is the legend, the inimitable Danny Dyer. Danny, how you doing, man?
It's the 4th time. I was just thinking when you said that, it's definitely 4th, because we've done the raw spirit, then we went into the 5, the 8, and then we're going to go into something else. But I'm very well. Thank you for asking. How are you doing? How's the heat wave treating you?
Mate, it says that it's 35 degrees today, but outside, when you step out that door from the aircon, I'm so glad the cabin has aircon. When you walk outside the door from the aircon, it's like, because you, as you know, I was planning to take it outside today.
Yeah.
I even downloaded little clips from George Michael's "Take It Outside." So I was going to be like, what I was planning to do was do, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dean Callan Show, episode 4 of Insane in the Grain, and today we're taking it outside. But actually, that would have been pre-recorded, right?
Yeah.
And then it would go to me doing this, and then like camera angle number 4 being picked up and carried outside, but actually it would have all been pre-recorded. And like, I went outside, I started setting up, and did.
Too much.
I started sweating. I don't like sweating, especially not on camera. It's not.
You're all in black as well. Like, it's not like you're going out in like a thin white shirt and nice white shorts. You're clad in black. It would be horrific.
Well, the thing is, I was actually in a different black shirt while I was setting up, right? And then like, this is my fresh, fuck COVID. But I got completely changed because it was so hot, and now I'm for the first time ever wearing shorts.
Yeah, quite right, mate. Quite right.
You know, I have to, even in the aircon. So anyway, right, let's not hang out for too long. The 4th. All right, Hadrian's on, man. Yeah. So I think it's the 4th because the reason I'm getting confused, the first show was just you and me tasting something, right?
Yeah, we start with the raw spirit, and that's when I sort of like put out the cocktail videos and realised that I'm trying to do cocktail videos with a grain, also my 60-second cocktails, and I just couldn't keep up. So I left it to the more capable hands of yourself and the viewers to come up with those cocktails. I just very quickly bailed out, and no one seems to have called me on it apart from myself. It is the 4th episode.
No, mind, it's nerve-wracking coming up with a cocktail live. I'm actually a little nervous about this one. Which one are we doing? Wait. Let's talk about the previous one, right? So last fortnight, if I can see it anywhere here, we did the 8-year-old blended grain, right?
Yeah.
And the 8-year-old blended grain was at 70% ABV.
Yeah.
Not that matters that much. Like, I think the guys had watered them down a tiny little bit, right? You just got a comment from Hadrian, nice haircut.
Oh, thank you very much, man. I went to the hairdressers, right? And I said to him, I'm really, really sorry, because as you knew, it was like down to here, and if I sat on the street, people started giving me money. Like, it was that bad. But then when I went in, his clippers kept getting stuck, and I was like, mate, I just want you to take as much as possible off the side and then leave me a little bit that I can play with on top. He's like, I've seen quite a few states come into the hairdressers, but you're properly up there, mate. And I was, oh well, thank you very much. Just try and fix it for me, you know. So it's so cold. Everything's very cold now, but I feel so much better.
Have you seen the show Norseman?
No.
Oh, dude, you should watch the show Norseman. It's basically
Yeah.
about Vikings. And like it's amazing. You've got to watch it. It's hilarious. Like the show opens the very first episode with you know, back in the days, Vikings, apparently when people got too old to fight and were a draw on the village, they would just like jump off a cliff and die rather than slow the people down. They're running out of food, so they just take all the all the warriors are off pillaging and whatever. They take all the old people to the top of a cliff, and the old guy is like, I don't really want to jump. You're like, what? And like it's like they're being quite like Scandinavians today, like super thoughtful, like empathic and everything, but they're in Viking time. It's hilarious. Yeah, it's really good.
It's a bit like sort of like what's that film? Logan's Run. Do you remember that one? I think when you turn 30 in Logan's Run, you got zapped. It's a really old film, man. It's like some sort of weird 80s sci-fi, and the whole thing is that Logan turns 30. He doesn't want to get zapped and killed, so he runs, hence Logan's Run. I'm pretty sure that it was called Logan's Run, a brilliant film.
Just kill people.
But funny we should talk about Norsemen, because I'm in Sweden right now.
Yeah, well, the thing is, Norsemen, they've all got like, you know, different haircuts and stuff, but a lot of them, like, they've shaved bit of here and they've got big beards. So you got, man, you're looking Viking with that. It squares up your jaw. I think we're talking too much about your hair.
Yeah. We'll talk about the grain.
We should probably get into the grain. It's insane in the grain, right? It's in the name. Right. So last fortnight, I still can't see where I put it. Last fortnight we did the 8-year-old blended grain. It was at 70% ABV. And I think what I might do, because Hadrian's at work right now, but he's still trying to watch, we'll play Hadrian's video first. Now, I wanted to cut this a little bit because Hadrian, I don't know why you keep making 2 drinks. I thought you were just showing off the first time, but we only really needed the 1. Now, the second drink is delicious, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to play one video today, and we'll sit back and think about it. I'll see if I can try to make it. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it, but I'll see if I can make it alongside you, and then I'll have to cut you off. And I'll put the whole 2 videos maybe up on my channel at a later date. All right, rock and roll. So Hadrian, thanks again for helping us out, because Hadrian actually got his at quite short notice. It took me a while to get it to him. Here's Hadrian.
Hello Dean, hello everyone. Mate, you're a legend. Thank you so much for dropping the whiskey by earlier this afternoon. My wife is so impatient to try Douglas Porn Star Martini, and I am too, honestly. Probably this Saturday because I'm off work for the week, so I'll be able to chill and enjoy it. This whiskey, Dean and Mr. Danny Dyer, this is the bomb. I love this. Got a lot of vanilla, got some butter, some toast, a little bit of dark cacao, I think. Yeah, it's very delicious. So, it's right now, it's 1:22 in the morning. I came back from work about 1. Then a little bit before 1 I had to feed my little cat that is around here. If you can hear her, she's going a bit crazy. And the time to prep a little bit. So I'm not gonna go too complicated this time. I just made a very simple highball. And then a little twist on a vieux carré. So vieux carré, you know, whiskey, sweet vermouth, cognac, Benedictine, and then Pêche and Angostura. But I think I'm gonna skip the cognac because this whiskey is the bomb. So I want to let this whiskey shine through. So for this cocktail I'm gonna use 2 new gadgets that I got from the auction, the Stand Fast auction, that you're gonna love. First, I'm gonna use the Monkey Shoulder Trigger Jigger, which I didn't even knew existed, but when I saw that, I was like, I gotta get me one of those.
Well, it's
So we're gonna
perfect,
try
right?
this.
They make monkey shoulder, it's fine.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mix it straight in the glass. And I can't open the bottle, that's always nice. Let's try another one. Here we go, this one opens. So I'm gonna go 40 of this 8 years old 72 ABV whiskey. There we go, 40 ml. Here I've got some green cardamom infused sweet vermouth. Pretty sure you don't have that, but if you've got something like Cocchi di Torino or even better Punta Mess, that will do a magnificent job. Gonna put 20 ml of that, so leaning more on the whiskey. I'm gonna pour that. Yes! This is genius! No more dripping! Haha! Why didn't I discover this thing earlier? And then another toy that I got at the auction that you talked about. I got me some of those ice spoon. So I'm gonna go with bar spoon of Benedictine. Oh my god, it's been so long I wanted a really long spoon, you know, just because it looks so amazing when you have that long spoon to stir it on your drink. So that's bar spoon of Benedictine. And then 3 dash of Angostura. I'm gonna go with 2 dash of Pecho. I like sort of really herbaceous sort of drink. It's gonna be nice and cozy. Big piece of ice. And we're gonna stir this. It's been a long day at work, so I think I deserve this. And I have another long day tomorrow before the weekend. So tomorrow night or Saturday lunch, it's gonna be Pawn Star Martini time, I reckon. My wife wanted them tonight, but she was so tired she went to bed as soon as we went home. Here we go. Ooh. Yes, nice and dry, very dry drink, but I love it. And a little lemon peel. And here we go. A nice Vieux Carré twist. That's a very delicious nightcap actually. Love this. Okay, now second drink.
Alright, sorry to do that to you, Hadrian. I just wanted to keep on time with everything, but for the guys at home, Hadrian also made like a shaken strawberry kind of long drink, like a fizz, which reminds me, if you have you ever tried an artist special?
No.
So an artist special is Scotch whiskey, red currant syrup, lemon juice, sherry, shaken, strained.
That sounds mean.
Yeah, it's delicious. But he made like a strawberry drink with like a little bit of vanilla sugar and stuff. It looked pretty tasty. Right, so what are you thinking of those as a flavor combination, like a Vieux Carré kind of twist?
Sounds really, really interesting. I love my stirred drinks. I love my Negronis, my Boulevardiers, and I love that strong, dry flavours coming through. What did he have? He had a infused. What did he infuse the vermouth
green
with?
cardamom infused sweet vermouth.
Do you know, it's really weird, right? He's talking about cardamom, and then you were talking about vanilla sugar in the other drink. And in Sweden, we've been making these buns. So we've been making like cardamom buns and cinnamon buns and vanilla sugar buns. So it's some of the flavours we've got here. And I've actually got some of this lingonberry juice. I don't know if you've heard of lingonberries before.
Yeah,
I'm trying to play around with that with some of the cocktails.
Yep.
So I think it'd be quite interesting. I'll try and bring some back for you, or I'll just send you some, and you can see if any of these grains that we've got would work with that sort of, because it's quite an unusual taste, lingonberries, and the syrup's pretty funky as well. So yeah, I love Hadrian's crazy ingredients he always has, but the only thing is I'd love to try the drinks, you know.
Well, I think we're gonna have to like go in and visit him in his bar at some point when it's all done and dusted, you know.
But when travel and stuff is allowed and we know we're all safe and stuff, it'd be great to come down and just have a wee day and go through all the whiskies again and try some of these cocktails.
Oh, I've left the lemons inside. Damn. Well, that's all right.
Yeah.
I can garnish it with a suggestion of lemon rather than a full twist. Have you ever seen how to garnish a drink with just a suggestion? Like, you know, you might read it on a menu like Vue Carré with a suggestion of rosemary garnish, right? So this is how you do it. It's not COVID safe. I'm just going to throw that out there. But you make the drink, and then just before you present the drink to the guest, you ask them, would they like a suggestion of rosemary or lemon or a suggestion of orange perhaps as the garnish? And they say, oh, suggestion of rosemary. And then you go, rosemary.
Rosemary. Yes, I knew it, man. I knew it. I was like, I think I know where this is going.
Whoa. That's tasty. I think it's a bit too dry for my palate, Hadrian. I like a little bit more sugar, but it's delicious. And it's very the whiskies allowed the Dom Benedictine to really kind of like bring out some of those bitter botanicals quite a bit. I guess that you kind of, there were 3 dashes of Ango and 2 dashes of Angostura and 2 dashes of Peychard. So that could be what's doing it. But yeah, super tasty. All right, do you want to find out what Dominic has made for us?
Yeah, I'm keen.
All right, I'm gonna warn you, Dominic's audio is unique. I've got to turn down.
Okay.
I got to turn down to 10% of its normal audio, right? So we'll start
okay,
it.
all right.
We'll start it, and then we'll see. I think he's going for something like experiential, kind of like shock tactics with the audio. But since you got headphones in, just a warning.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
So that was Dom's. I love the contrast between what Dom was doing and what Hadrian was doing, because like Dom, you can't even see him, right?
Yeah.
Could have been anyone. It could have been anyone.
Is Dom okay? Is he being held against his will? Have you got him in your house and you're like, make this cocktail now? Like, that was...
My favorite, look, I'll show you my favorite thing, right? The shadow at the very end, it's like going like this. What's the shadow doing? Watch again. Wait. What was the shadow doing?
Good.
It's like dead still for ages, and then suddenly it's like, you know. Anyway, yeah, Dom, I don't have the roasted barley cordial that you used, but this all sounds pretty tasty. I love the use of the cordial there as well. And I don't have a lemon today. Oh, what am I going to do? It looks like no matter what I'm tasting here, we're making some sort of stiff stirred down drink. But it is Friday, right? Can you hear me?
Well, it'll probably work with what we're going to do as well, right? Because do you know what grain we're going on to? I don't know if I've told you yet.
No, I don't know. So I've got 3 left. Just to clarify,
Yeah.
for the kids at home, and so that I can use angle number 4, my dreamy, moody angle, which is now probably too moody because you can't really read the labels, can you?
It's giving me flashbacks to Dom's video. If you can just put in some weird shadows and get some of that audio going, that'd be great.
Yeah, so this is what. So I've got the Gervin Patent Still 25-year-old, which would be nice on a Friday. 12-year-old blended grain, and the Gervin Patent Still number 4 apps 42%. Ooh.
So, I was actually talking to Brian last week, and I want to leave the 12 and I want to leave the 25 because I think we should finish on the 25, and it makes sense to jump to the 12 after the 8. But I had asked about the patent still number 4, and I had a little bit of information on it, and he said that's an interesting one because it's one of the few that I've given you that's actually been watered down, because most of the stuff I've got is sitting at quite high percentage, and it comes from the original patent still. It's actually sitting between, get this, he says 5 and 8 years. He says it's sitting between 5 or 8 years. It's not the patent still that we released a few years ago. It's the same still, but this is really unusual liquid that he had sitting, and he wanted to give us a young version, but also a watered down version as well. So I think we should look at this. I say we should look at this. I think you should look at this and taste it, because my dumbass has left the little sample bottles that I remembered in the other house. I'm actually down by the water just now at my girlfriend's house, and I've left them at our mum and dad's house, which is quite a ways away. And so I won't be joining you, which is a pain in the ass. So I do apologise. But I have some local Swedish beer, which tastes nothing like Gervin Patent Still, but it's what I have, and it's what I'll be drinking.
Oh, wait there. I'm getting FOMO on the beers front. If you don't mind. Right. So it's 42%, and when you say it's between 5 and 8 years?
So Brian said
so
when he got it, it's between 5 and 8 years. And I said, how do you mean? He goes, it's just between 5 and 8 years. He goes, I've not got an exact date on it. It was quite an obscure cask, and we'd watered it down. But he said, I thought you'd like it because it's the patent still number 4. Now, I know I've not really geeked out too hard on the Gervin distillery and stuff.
Yeah.
I think this gives me a little bit of an opportunity to geek out. Maybe if some of the listeners kind of like that stuff.
Yeah.
So with Gervin,
you're going to talk vacuums, right?
I'm going to really quickly talk about it.
Right.
With Grant, we don't talk anything about this, and I know a little bit about it. And I'm going to tell you the story about how this started, and a quirky story about how it all came together, which I find more interesting than going deep into vacuum distillation. So this still was put in 1992. Now, some of you might know that in 1963 Gervin was created, and this was the 4th apparatus, or the 4th still that was put in, hence 4 apps. That's what we call them, called the distills apps. And it was put in 1992, and we actually had help from Finnish scientists, so it's quite fitting that I'm in Sweden just now. They came over to Scotland and they installed this patent still. So it's a unique still. It actually comes from a vodka thing in Finland, and only we've got it, so we've got seen as like one of the best grains in the world. But what I liked about it was these guys were over here for about a year, and there was pretty much nothing to do in Gervin. As you know, it's a very small place, and they were like, well, where's the strip bars? Where's the things we can do? There was zero for them to do. And when they installed this, they went back to Finland, and it was a few months after it that the distillery manager at the time noticed a really horrific smell coming from the still. And what he didn't realise was that they had put in something called sacrificial copper which sits at the top of the still, and it's basically to clean the liquid because the still itself isn't copper. So he didn't know that they had to change this, and he said when he opened it up, the stench was horrific, it almost knocked him out.
Whoa.
So I love the idea of these Finnish scientists going away. He's forgot to change the sacrificial copper, and that little quirky story from the distillery manager phoning these guys up, being like, "Why does my still smell so bad?"
But
this is the first.
Copper, is it absorbing like the phosphates or something? And what I know the copper does that.
Yeah, so basically with the sacrificial copper, it's like an almost a little like hollow ball of copper, right? It's patented to us again. It's a design that means it's got a lot of contact with copper, and copper cleans your liquids. Now the thing about the patent number 4, 5, and 6, our Girvan distilleries, is that unlike other grain distilleries where it's a continuous process, ours is a multi-pressure or vacuum process, which means we don't burn our beer or grain, if you will. And the reason we put in the copper there is just to clean some of those higher volatiles and some of those heavier compounds out. But it means when you taste that, you're getting the full taste of that grain, the full taste of what was put in, whereas other grains burn a little bit, and you're losing some of those like higher quality or sweeter notes coming through.
It's got a really fresh cereal note, like, you know, when you're holding like wet grain, the way you can smell that creamy cereal note, and there's a lot of white chocolate and vanilla, like more so than the I thought the last one had a lot of kind of vanilla notes. This is special.
So it's a similar age, right? But you notice the difference when it comes to like this patent number 4 and the fact that we use wheat. So it's 95% wheat, 5% 1A malted barley that we use. But again, that's quite odd using wheat. And I was lucky because I did actually try this when I was talking to Brian about it. So I do remember some of the tasting notes, and I just thought it was such a contrast to a very similar aged grain, but 70%, and then something that comes from our patent stills. And it just goes to show that you get the full flavours coming in. And there's not some of those like heavier top notes you might get with the higher alcohol, or some of those like burnt cereal notes sometimes you get when you're drinking grain.
So I can't help but like, I kind of want to just make a stirred down, almost like a sweet version of a martini.
I did actually have a play with this, and I used some like honey and stuff when I played with this. There's a great bar in Edinburgh called Bramble, and they have an amazing drink with milk and honey. I believe it's monkey shoulder they use, and I pretty much copied their drink a little bit because I think it's one of my favourites. And I didn't have the little barley garnish, but it tasted great. A little bit of honey and milk, and milk and a little touch of ice and stuff coming through. And I just thought it worked really well because it's quite sweet anyway. But it's a great one. I think it's a really interesting one compared to what we had before, which was so intense. And I think our next two grains that we'll play about with in the future, I've had a wee sneaky taste of them with Brian as well, and they're pretty
You're
crazy.
cheating. That's not fair.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk with Brian, like, because he's awesome, right? He takes so much time with us ambassadors, and he's such a busy guy. And I just wanted to phone him up again and just clarify some stuff on some of the liquids. And he luckily had some, as did I. And I was like, I hope you don't mind if we just taste it. The next two whiskies are very, very special. I think it feels like the first few we tried were very specific and cask strength in a certain way, and then these next three it seems to just kind of go up and up and up in quality.
I really just want to taste it, but I've been dragged into arguments about like spoons and ooh. So I've just kind of gone with the vanilla notes that I was getting, the white chocolate notes that I was getting, and I've put white creme de cacao in, like, I put 42 mils, right? That's how accurate I can be. 42 mils for the 42%.
Strangely accurate.
I was measuring against 45, and I just tried to keep it like just a tiny little meniscus level below the 45 line. And a dash of white creme de cacao, and then the tiniest small bar spoon. When I say small, like not even level, of Suze, because I don't have a souring element that I wanted to add to this. So I feel like if rather than let it be too sweet, I'll put a little bit of bitterness in there to add like a little bit of bitterness, and maybe even I might go a little dash of Angostura Bitters. In fact, did you know Angostura Bitters has released a chocolate Angostura Bitters?
No.
If only I had chocolate Angostura Bitters right now, that's what I would use. I'm going to omit the bitters altogether. I think the Suze has done enough of a job to give it the bitterness it needs to cut through the sweetness. And the sweetness, that vanilla note has like lifted the vanilla's already in it. I'm going to add a tiny bit more Suze, because I want it a tiny bit more bitter. Right. I'm going to stir that up and see how it goes. So, you're not going to make a cocktail with this one this week? You can't, can you?
I can't. I'm not back home till August 28th. So yeah, I mean, I've got the samples. Like next time we do the next episode, I do have the samples with me. But I don't know if you saw my Instagram. I'm still doing my 60-second cocktails.
Yep.
So my girlfriend's dad actually has cows. So we went and milked some cows and used some fresh milk and ice cream for a cocktail. So I done it outside, because usually I'm sitting inside doing these cocktails.
Yep.
So I've got a bunch more plans
that.
to do some more cocktails. We've been foraging a lot of mushrooms and berries, so I'm going to use the berries for a cocktail.
Are you going to have the
local
mushrooms
brewery.
before you do the cocktail?
What's that?
What type of mushrooms are they?
So we've got chanterelles, right? I'm not going to use that in the cocktail, obviously, but I fucking love chanterelles, man. They're amazing, so we've been foraging those. But there's blackcurrants, raspberries, and blueberries here that I'm going to use in a cocktail. I'm going to do that outside in the forest. And there's a local brewery that uses bees honey for a sort of mead, and I'm going to be doing like a bee honey natural local brewery and whiskey sort of drink as well. So I've got about 5 or 6 different cocktails planned that are all around nature and foraging and using local stuff in Sweden, because I've got a little bit more leeway to go outside and do things than I did have when I was back in the UK.
Because you're out in the countryside, right?
Yeah, I'm in a place called Bankabutter. There's like 20 houses and several acres of land. Like there's no one near you anywhere, so you can just kind of live off the land. And we went into the small town, which is tiny, and they had the sort of bottle shop, as I would call it, the liquor shop, and that's where I got all these like local beers and local stuff, because I want to try and incorporate some of that into the
I tried to use one of my small glasses, but I think the drinks still come up quite small. I don't mind. I can scale it up later. All right, I'm getting no aroma off it. It's tasty. I really like that, actually. It would benefit from like a garnish that has a little bit more aroma than what the drink currently has, but I still think it's delicious. Yeah, cool.
It's such an easy drinking grain, isn't it? Compared to the stuff that we've been drinking before, they've been pretty full on and pretty smacky in the face, and this one is just so subtle and smooth.
I'm actually amazed. I think the Suze pairs really well with the cereal note in the grain. I can still taste that pronounced cereal note that you get right at the beginning. Like, it's really strong. Like it's almost like the white creme de cacao and the Suze have just balanced each other out, and it tastes like drinking this with a bitter aftertaste and a little hint of sweetness at the front. Yeah, the flavor. This is a lot of fun to play with. I'm actually looking forward to see. I'm probably not even going to ask Adrian. I might just turn up at his door and hand him some
I mean,
of this.
I feel like he has to now, right?
Yeah, right.
He's used every single spirit, so you just have to give him some of this.
I think it wouldn't be fair if he didn't get to taste the 25-year-old. You know, that's sitting there.
I think he has to try them all, because the videos are great. It's just I'm very jealous when he makes these cocktails, because I don't have some of these ingredients. In fact, I don't know how to make some of the stuff that he's playing around with. So it'd be great just to come down and have a chat with him and steal some of these ingredients and have some of these cocktails and save us, you know.
Whenever everything's back to normal. This is actually really good, man. Well, I'm going to hang on to enough of this that when you do come back to London, if you come here, I can make you this. I'm actually really proud of this.
Good.
Maybe it could be that I'm in the kind of mood for drinking this kind of spirit. I don't know, but it's super tasty. All right, so next week, next fortnight, this one. So if anyone is interested in getting involved, let us know. Otherwise, I think we might go to like the usual suspects, what we call it. I'll take one other person, but this time I think Hadrian, if you're interested, definitely get you back onto it again, because it's been too much fun seeing you, I guess, become less shy as well in the videos. The first video you were like, thanks Dean, this is the drink, and now you're like, hey bro, what's happening? It's good to see. So
it's
I can
brilliant. It's really, really good. And Dom, if you're okay, can you send us like a pigeon or some sort of message or something? Just let us know everything's fine with you.
Yeah, when you're back, I'll make them all of them. All right, awesome. Right, dude, thank you so much. I'm going to cut to Mitch's minute, give you a chance to get back to your holiday. And I guess I'll see you in a fortnight then.
I'll see you in 2 weeks, buddy.
Awesome.
Take care.
All right, cheers, man.
Bye.
All right, so now I'm going to cut to Mitch's minute and then close out the show, because it's freaking Friday. And Friday's the day that we're supposed to get a little bit loose and have a bit of fun. Let off some steam, get ready for the next week. It depends on what you're actually doing. I guess a lot of you guys will be working this weekend. Or at least I hope you're working this weekend, if that's what you're looking for and you're not still furloughed, all that. Anyway, Mitch's minute.
All right, double barrel because I missed Friday. Worst organized function I've ever worked. Our gang got punished one year at Coachella and they didn't even finish our bar until halfway through the second day because we'd smoked so much pot the year before. I worked a event at Jamie Foxx's house where people were just snatching bottles out of the speed rail. That was pretty bad. But the top would have to be New Year's Eve one year where they'd based the entire beverage offering. It was curated by some like restaurateur style icon sort of thing, and he didn't have any experience in drinks, and it's for 1,500 people, Sydney Opera House, and he wanted to have everything with fresh juice, like juice to order, and all 8 juices break within the first hour, and I've just got this army of barbacks out the back like squeezing juice by hand. And I'm out there like just having the panic attack of a fucking lifetime. And Jimmy, my partner at the time, comes up and just ponks an ecstasy tab in my mouth and goes, "It'll make the time go faster." Yeah, that was really fucking bad.
Did you hear that? Jimmy is a bad man. Do I know Jimmy? Mitch, when you wake up, if you watch this, who's Jimmy? You can't go putting ecstasy tablets in people's mouths without their permission while they're at work. How are you supposed to work? You can't work. That's got to be the worst shift ever. I'm sorry that had to happen to you, Mitch, especially when you're like super stressed out and there's a bajillion people trying to hand juice. Sounds terrible. Right, so that's actually good. It just tastes like whiskey with a little bit of like sweet, bitter kick to it. It's really tasty. I'm dying to try the Angostura Bitters with the cacao, like the chocolate flavored Angostura Bitters. If anyone knows anyone that can get it, I don't know where to buy it. I responded to the Angostura Bitters people when they were like, "We're coming to." I was like, "Where do I buy it?" They were advertising it. If you're gonna advertise something, make it available for people to buy. You can't just give it to people. You're gonna make it available for people to buy. Okay? I want to buy it. I want some, so I can test it. In fact, I think I've been asked maybe 4 times to do an episode on bitters. So yeah, let me know what your favorite bitters are. I'm gonna try to find out as much information on those particular bitters as I can. Otherwise, I'll explain what bitters are and then try maybe one drink. What drink is definitively guided by the bitters? You could say old-fashioned, you could say Manhattan, maybe it is the old-fashioned. But Do we get like a really neutral whiskey and then make old fashions with lots of different bitters and see how they all plan out? Do we make vodka martinis with bitters in them? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Any ideas? Let me know your thoughts. And until next time, which will be Wednesday. Until Wednesday, yeah, have a nice weekend, and I'll see you Wednesday.